Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here and laughing because of Julia.
Hi, John.
Hi, Peggy.
Oh, I'm Peggy Burton, and I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here too.
I am. I'm just glad
You know,
that I was able to get up and be alive.
We have had some. It's the political season.
I know. That's all
Early
you hear.
voting has started, and we're doing interviews, and we're going to give you a little bit of that today. Some statements by the different candidates that we're interviewing, and the radio stations are doing interviews, and
Yeah.
the newspapers got interviews.
And I hope people are going out there and voting, because you don't have a right to complain if you're not going to vote.
That's right. Well, they're going to complain, but we're not going to listen.
Well, but get out there and voice your opinion is what I
And
say.
so,
Yeah.
so we're going to leave our red, white, and blue stuff up until Election Day. I think it's important. I think it's very
It is
important
very
that
important.
people vote. And we have big races in the county, sheriff's races, the mayor's race. In Tullahoma, we have 4 automatic seats up.
And I like to compliment people willing to stand up
Willing
and
to
run
yeah.
for these offices, because it takes a lot of work.
Yes, it does.
It takes a lot of sometimes being mad at somebody, them getting mad at you because you didn't do what they wanted, but it just takes a special kind of person to be willing to take an office and see it through.
Well, and the thing about it is in our society today, if you don't agree with me, I get mad at you.
And that's not right.
And that's not right. And particularly, and I've said this and I'll continue to say it, whether y'all like it or not, is there is no place for party politics in city government.
No. Absolutely
We just
not.
need to be worried about
What's going in the
helping
city.
each other in our cities and in our communities, and not worry about whether it's a red tie or a blue tie or what party won, because we don't legislate anything at the
Right.
city level.
We just take care of business.
Take care of
That's
business.
what it's business.
Business. And speaking about taking care of business, I want to hear about the fantastic reception that the South Jackson Street Band got
Oh.
in Nashville
It was
at
fun.
the park.
We were at Centennial Park Saturday night, and I've never seen such a crowd. It must be the first time everybody's been out in a long time. But young people, old people, babies, people dancing with their babies, and this dance floor was full. They always do a dance class before we start. And it was fabulous. We really had a good
Now,
time.
in what part of the park was that situated, Peggy?
Good question. I can't
'Cause it's a
give you-
big park.
It's a huge park, and there's this huge pavilion is where we were, but I should know the exact address.
Well,
but
and you said the
anyway.
dance floor. Is there a flat surface that's there all
Yes,
the time, or is
yes.
it something
No,
that they bring
this
in?
is a,
Big
a
pavilion.
huge pavilion
Right.
that's there in the park. It used to be where an airplane was, but they've moved that airplane, and that's why now.
So it's like a concrete floor that's a covered
Yes.
area.
It's a really nice area.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And the dance floor was full, and then there was, as far as you could see, people on the grounds. And they
And
seemed
was
to
it
like
hot?
us. It was a bit warm. I thought it was great that I survived. you
Yeah.
know. Anyway, we had a good time.
Well, good.
And we're gonna be at-
And I think it is absolutely marvelous that another of your creations is still alive and well, just like the country show in its 43rd year.
I think so. Yes, 43, I believe
The
that's correct.
South Jackson
Yeah.
Street Band.
And we have a new participant on the show today.
Oh, good.
She's from Manchester, and she's not a singer. She's just very interesting.
Is she a comedian? Sort of?
Yeah, she's a comedian,
A humorist.
A humorist, that's it.
Yeah, well, that's just wonderful. And that show's coming up, and what we're going to do over the next week or so, because that show is in the 12th, 13th, and 14th of August, which is, less than a month away.
Right.
Practices are going on. And
Absolutely, on every corner we can find in the Civic Center.
well, and Sleeping Beauty just finished up this Sunday.
No,
Not Sleeping
Cinderella.
Beauty. Cinderella.
That was fabulous.
Cinderella, and I went by there Sunday.
It It was crowded.
And every parking spot all the way around the old West School, even the grass
I know, it was.
on the baseball field on the other side was full.
I went just because I knew that a couple of students, at least in there, that I had taught voice to. And I thought, well, I'll go. I know it's a kids' show, and it probably won't be the greatest thing. But it was hysterical. The music was well done. The costumes were phenomenal.
Now, did they have a band or did they use tracks?
They used tracks. Ann Wonder.
Right.
And another lady, and I can't call her name right now because I don't have a great memory, but anyway, was in charge of costuming. And that bunch of costumes deserve great accolades. If there's anybody out there giving an award,
Ann Wonder needs
Ann
it.
Wonder needs to
She's
get
done
it.
it for years.
She produced a change of costumes, when Cinderella becomes getting ready to go to the ball. It was just like a movie. I couldn't believe it. It was right there in center stage. She went out of her pauper outfit into a beautiful ball gown. Just so many other things.
Right.
Anyway,
right.
I laughed. I just loved it.
And a lot of kids, I'm sure, were in
A lot
it.
of kids were in it, and a lot of kids were in the audience, and adults,
I
Because
saw
I
a bunch
went
of
thinking
kids.
it was more for children, but no, it was a big, huge musical for everybody.
I saw a bunch of kids that looked like mice.
There was some mice and a sweet little dove. Caitlin Rogers did the lead as the mother, the godmother.
Yes.
And she played it comedic, and that was fabulous. And her little girl, who was 5, was a little dove that followed her around. It was just sweet.
great.
All of it was sweet. And the young lady doing the lead, and the prince, and David Woodfin that directed. I mean, accolades to all.
David directed that?
Yeah.
Good for him.
It's his first one, to direct.
Yeah, he's been a singer and entertainer for a long time.
He's a good guy. Wait, I hope I've got that right. Anyway, it was fun.
I'm sure you do. Andy's husband.
I don't know all that.
He used to work at the Legion for us and
No,
with us, and
I'm talking about the son.
the big tall David.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
he's been in all kinds of shows. But no, it's great. That's great, and the reception was outstanding. And of course, what happened immediately after that show was over on Sunday, the teardown started and the rebuild started, and the country show took the stage the next night.
it goes on and on and on.
And
the
that's
kids
what
are doing Shrek coming up.
Yeah.
Another production
Right.
similar to Cinderella.
that's
It'll
great.
be another
That's great.
fun thing to do. I think we have a lot to be grateful for in this community. The community itself is beginning to accept that South Jackson Civic Center is something very special.
Yes.
For our community in this region to have as many performances, it's amazing.
And it's not a closed place. It's an open place.
Everybody's
It's
invited in,
taken
yeah.
years for
We
us.
always need people to volunteer. It takes a massive amount of people behind the scenes and doing this and that. So if you ever want to volunteer,
But
just-
it's not locked up to everybody except a member. Anybody that wants to can walk
Oh,
in there and
yeah.
buy a ticket.
exactly.
Now, if you are a member of South Jackson Civic Center, there's some great deals that go along with that.
Yeah.
And some discounts with merchants around town and
Well,
and
we have a
stuff
lot
like
to
that.
be grateful for, all of the support we get
Right,
from merchants.
right.
There's this program right here does a massive amount of publicity and advertising.
Well,
We
I
appreciate
mean,
it.
we're real big supporters of the arts, or I am particularly, and want to make sure that everybody understands that these places that some of you think are off limits, the Civic Center, the Arts Center, the Science Center, anybody that wants to can walk in those places.
Parks and Recreation. There's just a lot of
Yeah, there's a lot of
stuff to
wonderful
do.
things go on around
And,
here. And again, a membership is a good thing, and they're all reasonable.
Very reasonable.
What's a membership at South Jackson Family
Don't
Membership?
ask me
man?
all that.
$40,
Well,
something like that a year?
I think it's less than that for just a member.
No, I mean a family membership.
family
It's
member,
about 40
that
bucks.
sounds
40, 50
right,
bucks,
that sounds
something
right.
like that. And it's you get that much in food discounts.
Oh, yeah.
And Florence gives discounts at Clayton's Own Shoes.
Yeah, there's lots of sponsors.
lots of stuff going on.
It's certainly worth
yeah.
buying a membership.
Yeah.
Just
So
oh, and I didn't mention this, but a week from Thursday, 28th, is our outdoor event with the South Jackson Street Band.
now it's Ice Cream Social.
That's Midsummer Night's Swing, yes.
Midsummer Night Swing, and I think we have somebody on today.
We do.
That's gonna
and
be,
we'll talk about that then.
We'll talk about that then.
Oh,
And
you have
so,
some stuff. Let's do it.
Well, no, I want to read something right here, and I'm waxing a little bit, not really religious, but spiritual.
That's good.
This was a low coup that I wrote, and in my book of low coups, there's 366 of them, or you can get in touch with me and get a book. When the master calls and you don't come, prepare to survive without him, as one who is hungry will take your place, one that walks softly, not burdened by pride. And then underneath that, I write a reflection. I think it is okay to be proud of yourself for achieving a goal that you set, as long as it stays close, only to be noticed by the inner glow of accomplishment. If your pride is vomited forth in search of praise, the blowback may burn down the palace of your unneeded desires.
That's a mouthful.
So in other
Very
words,
reflective.
it's all right to be proud for what you've done. It's not all right to be prideful. We'll be back after these commercial
That was good.
messages.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department. Need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one!
Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back and we're talking about the political season and our television show Insight, which is the show that Tom Corrington used to do for years called Grassroots, is where we interview political candidates. Now, we have chosen, well, there's so many that we can't interview all of them, so what we decided to do was the Tullahoma Alderman and the county mayor. Now there's 7 candidates running for 4 seats in Tullahoma, 3 of those candidates, the new candidates who have never run before, chose not to come and be interviewed. And that is Mr. Glick, Ms. Johnson, and Ms. Wilson chose not to come. And so what we did is at the end of each of the shows, we asked each of the candidates to look at the camera and give you an appeal to vote for them. And this Insight show is on our channel 193, and it's on Tuesday at 10:30 a.m., 8:30 p.m., Thursday 10:30 a.m., 8:30 p.m., Friday 9 a.m., Saturday 5:30 p.m., and Sunday at 8 o'clock p.m. So those will be rotating, and they're also on our YouTube page and our Facebook site, our YouTube channel and our Facebook site. So what we're going to bring you right now is the candidates' appeal for your vote. We'll let Rupa, you got about a minute here to look at that camera right there, and you tell those people why they need to vote for you.
Oh gosh, that's a lot of pressure. Well, first, I want to thank you all for which one am I looking at?
Right over here. Right there.
Thank you all for electing me 3 years ago. I'm really proud of the work that we have done together. I think our community, as I said earlier, we have worked together to do some great things, from the emergency shelter, winter shelter project, to the Jefferson Street Park project, to the domestic violence work I do within the community, but also to do things within the boardroom that are important. And I promise to continue to invest in those same things that we have. Infrastructure, specifically roadways, sidewalks, making sure I support our school system, making sure that we have a plan for growth, that it's manageable, and that we do it in a smart way so that we preserve our community's essence. I thank you all for the past 3 years, and I hope to serve you again, because I've really, truly loved it. Thank you.
All right, Jerry.
Well, yes, I worked with you, and you, at heart, you're exactly what you say you are. You're the person that wants to do right, and you're one of those individuals who loves Tullahoma for what it stands for. I think that the main thing, I was an alderman for 12 years, and I always was there to accommodate our citizens. If you wanted to call me, you call me, and we'll talk, and we'll sit down. I know there's one thing that really sticks in my craw, and she probably knows about this, being on the board now, is that all of our parks and places that these families go, we need to get a video system in there so we can keep up with what's going on. I've had more than one person come to me and say that.
Okay.
Got you.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Mr. John Gray for this opportunity. I do solicit your votes. I am committed to doing what's right for the citizens in the city. I am also committed to being a part of the solution and not the problem. So I hope to see a lot of you coming out on Friday as we begin our early voting. And I would like to say that I would like to wish all the other candidates the best of luck. Hopefully we'll get to work together, continue to work together, but we're a team, and we need to be unified and not divided. And you said it best in the beginning, that in city government, there's just no room for our political affiliations and our personal agendas. We're here to serve the citizens of our city. So thank you so very much.
Okay, Daniel, I'm going to give you about a minute or so to make a plea, short or long as you wish, and then I have a couple of things to say before we get off the air.
Yep. First, thank you to you and News Leader P-Head for doing this. I think it's extremely important to get the candidates on here so that we can talk about our platforms. I've been there for 3 years, so that's some experience that I've got under my belt. I think that we've done a great job. And I say we because you don't do anything with right? It takes the entire board to get something done. It takes the city staff to get something done, and it takes the community being involved and engaged. Over the past 3 years, we've focused on infrastructure. We're going to continue to focus on infrastructure. We're invested now over $2.2 million in road paving, and compared to $930,000 the previous 3 years combined. We've got over $1.2 million in stormwater. That's important because that's something that we've heard. We go out and I've answered over 1,000 phone calls in my 3 years.
Tullahoma's a swamp on top of a mountain.
It's a swamp on top of a mountain, but we're going to do what we can to fix that.
That's right.
We've invested over $2 million in sidewalks in the past 3 years. And we've got momentum with the 2040 plan. We've got momentum with the infrastructure investments that we're doing. We've got some exciting things coming to the community, the farmers market over at South Jackson. And so my kind of plea is, I think that on the board, I've tried to be a level head. I don't vote no to vote no, and I don't make decisions based off of who makes a motion. If something's right, something's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. I go out and I go door to door and I listen to people and I talk to them. And so I hope that I have earned your vote. If I haven't earned your vote, reach out to me, 931-229-0364. Visit my website, barryforalderman.com. I do answer my phone, or come out and see me Friday at Fraser McEwen, starting at 5:30. I'm smoking some hams. We're going to pull them, and I'm doing some of my berry beans that we'll have out there. So come out and see me.
We'll start off this time with Judd.
Okay, thank you.
And there's your camera.
All right, folks, today is July 15th. When I'm recording this, you're probably going to see it a few days later. Early voting is well underway. CD stamps here in Tullahoma. CCAP, the County Administrative Plaza building in Manchester. Also, you can vote early every day except Sunday. And election day is August 4th. Early voting ends July 30th. Judd Matheny would like to have your vote, needs your vote for county mayor for Coffee County, and hope to see you at the polling places very soon. John, thank you very much for the show.
You're welcome.
And Margaret, thank you very much for the contest with me and for appearing in these shows with me and for what you've done for us.
And Miss Margaret?
I'm Margaret Cunningham, and I want to be your county mayor because I have a passion for our community. I have a vision for our community, and I have the best experience because I've been actually involved in the day-to-day efforts of county government for 15 years. I'm smart, I'm an independent, but I'm not a politician, so if you're looking for that, I'm probably not your right candidate, but I am the person who can take care of things and get things done. I appreciate my opponent being civil, and I appreciate this opportunity also to be on today, and I'd really appreciate your vote for Margaret Cunningham because I am your best candidate for county mayor.
Okay, folks, and what I want to say is to them, this is a challenge I give to both of them. One of you is going to win, but the only way the county wins is if both of you still stay in the game.
Well, sure, there's too much.
Because both of you have too much to give for one of you to walk away and not still be involved.
Amen.
Okay? And we appreciate you being with us today. And you folks out there, you don't have a chance to complain in my book unless you go vote. Find a way to get to the polls.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
MacArthur Manor Assisted Living is passionate about creating better experiences for our Manchester seniors. Our residents describe us in a few words.
Welcoming.
When you walk through the doors at MacArthur Manor, we'll treat you like family. Caring. Through high standards of personalized care, we help residents live life to its fullest. Engaging. With a wide range of life-enriching activities, there is something for everyone at MacArthur Manor. With our residents and staff now vaccinated, call us today to schedule your safe and personalized tour.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good, nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. You're going to be glad you stuck around for this segment. I have met the most interesting person through South Jackson Goes Country, and I want to introduce her right away. She's from Manchester. She was a school teacher at times, but now she's just who she is. Miss Shirley Goodness. Welcome, Shirley.
Thank you so much. My name is Shirley Goodness, and well, my friend Mercy and I, we actually have our own TV show kind of set up like this, and our show is called Bless This Mess. And it's just where we discuss all the latest gossip to hit any Southern Baptist church within a 30-mile radius. You know, normally ladies like to get together for brunch every couple of weeks to discuss anything happening. Well, we'd like to just get you the news straight on, faster than a knife cutting through butter, honestly. And you know what? I really hate that Mercy's not here with us today. She would absolutely kill if she heard what I said, but you see, their church just had their summer camp, and they had an eating contest. Well, Mercy loves eggs, any type of eggs, egg salad, deviled eggs, and their team, the Galilee Gang, they won the eating contest. And well, those eggs didn't settle well with her. They were deviled eggs. She has so much noise coming out of her, it really sounded like a priest giving an exorcism. Oh man. Well, she did have to call in today. She's all of her sick days though, so she actually had to call in dead to work today. But I wonder when she gets to heaven what kind of covered dish she'll take up there. I bet it will be her famous potato salad. Although I really hope that when she gets to heaven, she uses gloves. A couple months ago, we had a potluck at church, and well, let's just say that Brother Virgil started choking, and Sister Hazel gave him the Heimlich maneuver, and he coughed up the most neon pink lay press on nail that you'd ever seen. And Mercy was giving her the thumbs up like this, and well, you could tell it was Mercy's thumbnail that was missing. She felt really horrible about it, and so I gave her a gift card to Get Polished here in town, and well, they do a really good job, but I think Mercy was most excited that a man was going to hold her hand for 45 minutes straight. Well, you know what, I should probably stop spilling the tea about Mercy. I really should just be filling her cup up instead. But if you do want to hear more gossip, you just tune in to Bless This Mess, and we'll be at the South Jackson Goes Country on August 12th, 13th, and 14th. I just want to leave you with our favorite phrase. Wash your hands and say your prayers, because Jesus and germs, they're everywhere. I'm sorry, Mercy.
That was fabulous. All right, this is really Amanda McCain, and disguised as Miss
Yes.
Shirley. I am so glad you came.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I've been looking forward to this all week. So.
Well, I've been looking forward to having you all week. Ever since I saw you at auditions, I thought, there's a superstar.
Well, thank you. If it weren't for Ashley, though, my partner in crime, Mercy, I probably wouldn't have. She signed me up for the auditions and told me later.
Good for her. Good for her.
She does that, though.
You know, for those of you that maybe not be sure of when the country show is and where it is, it's at South Jackson Civic Center on Jackson Street in Tullahoma, Tennessee. You know, I know that Tullahoma's not the only people that watch this show.
No.
So we want everybody to know, and you can get your tickets by going to southjackson.org. And the tickets are $20 if you pay in advance, $22 at the door. So don't forget.
And I know earlier you guys were mentioning memberships.
Yes.
And it's $30 for single and $45 for family.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could remember all this stuff.
Well, I was looking it up real quick, so
Yeah.
because I didn't know either, honestly. So yeah.
Well, we're deep in rehearsals at South Jackson Civic Center, and I want to give a shout out to Samantha Waters, who is the director now, and the
She's doing a
amount of
phenomenal
work
job.
she does. She is amazing. She's such a genius with the computer.
She is, and the amount of patience she has when there's 50 people in that one room and everyone's talking, she just has more patience than Job, honestly.
Very calm
Yes.
and very devoted to her faith and everything else.
really
so she's
is.
a good example for us all.
Mhm.
Anyway, shout out to Samantha.
Yes. I graduated high school with Samantha, actually.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. I won't give our ages away, though, but we did graduate together.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it must have been a good class.
It was. So it's good to reunite with her. We've done dance together, and I've done shows with her in Manchester as well.
Right.
So it's nice to get back together
So
with
how
her.
long have you been a teacher?
10 years. I just finished my 10th year.
And when did you start this little episode with your friend?
We on and off at church. Miss Faye has plays at church, and she's always casted us together doing things. And a couple years ago, we did a Meatloaf skit at church. And so we're trying to get a hold of that because we can only remember bits and pieces of it. And she actually taught with me. She was an aide in my classroom, Ashley was. And we just would bounce ideas off each other. We would rap together in class. We'd write songs together. We'd do acts. We'd dress up to just make it more fun for them. And that's where our friendship started.
That's
So,
great.
mhm.
And I think you'll find a friend that you can actually become someone else with her.
Absolutely. And she accepts all forms of my personalities.
Right. So I was going to introduce you as a schizophrenic, but I didn't.
No, it's okay. I tell my husband all the time that he gets to enjoy multiple personalities a day, so
yeah,
never gets bored.
Well, we are practicing a lot, and you're in several of the commercials.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you all doing a commercial by yourself?
We are. Shirley, Goodness, and Mercy are actually doing a commercial. And do you want me to say whose commercial we're doing it for?
That's fine.
Okay. We are doing Woodard's commercial.
And Woodard's has been a supporter for a long time. In fact, all of our commercial people, the most of them, have been with us almost since we started.
Yes, and I love Woodard's. That's actually where my husband got my engagement band. And
Really?
what's funny is his name is Jared. So everyone always joked that he didn't go to Jared's, he went to Woodard's instead.
Uh-huh. Can you help me remember all of the commercials? Piggy's Place has been with us for a long time.
Piggy's Place, Stroop's, Cheryl's, Mott Shaved Ice,
Mike Long's Dentistry,
Mike Long Dentistry, Woodard's, Tech ER,
Brown's
Tree,
and Stump Removal. And anyway, I may not be able to get them all, but
there's I think 13 altogether.
There's 13 altogether, and they're so gracious to help us out. We have a fabulous band, by the way.
I'm really excited to be practicing with them in a couple of weeks.
These guys have played for a lot of the country music stars, and they come together and have for several years to play for us, which is fabulous.
I love that.
To have that kind of talent.
I've never sang on stage before, so this will be the first time that I will be singing. So this will be my premiere on that Friday night.
You'll step out of your Shirley costume into being a superstar.
Into being one of the Opryland legends the first
fabulous.
night. So,
what legend are you?
I am June Carter Cash, and I'll be doing Jukebox Blues.
June Carter Cash would be so happy that you were playing her.
That's my absolute favorite song of hers. It just, if you're in a bad mood and you start singing.
Which one are you doing?
I'm doing Jukebox Blues.
That'll be
fun. So I'm really excited about that one. My little niece, who's 5, she knows the words to it now too.
Oh, we need to put her on the show.
I know. She would love it. So.
Well, Shirley and Amanda, what can I say? I'm so glad you came. Thank you for spending time with us today.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Manchester's
anytime.
lucky to have you over there.
I don't know about that. Some might agree with that statement, but
we'll be back with something else.
Clayton's has been Tullahoma's shoe store for over 120 years, and Florence Hall continues that tradition today. We're the only shoe store in town that starts with measuring your foot to make sure you get the perfect fit in a quality shoe. That includes narrow through wide widths for men, women, and children. Clayton Shoes, the family shoe store you'll love.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman. And this is Pat Welch, and John, we're with the Conversation with John and Pat, segment 27. We hope will be better than 11.
Made in heaven.
Of course, 11 probably pretty good.
Well, yes.
We're going to have to put on a fine performance.
Yes. I want to sing one. My brother, Phil Comstock, us two and him, we used to go to Nashville, to Nob Hill, to the Ralph Emery show. And after being on that show for a while, I thought, you know, these guys might be impressed if I write a song about the show and sort of down our little group. It doesn't take much to down our little group because we're very simple. You know, we're just two guitars and a bass fiddle.
And you take it well, too. You're graceful when they put you down.
In fact, we have played off of our mistakes for many, many years. It doesn't seem to bother us. We arrived at Channel 4 at 2 o'clock that morning. A fella cleaning up and locked the door. We practiced on some songs we intended to do. It didn't help us, so instead we paced the floor. Maud and Dorothy finally came and made a pot of coffee. I drunk so much I thought I would explode. We were so nervous and excited the day we were invited to the Ralph Emery show. The band came strolling in, wearing faded jeans and sneakers. I knew right then we'd overdressed a bit. We wore matching outfits with fringe and diamond sequins, cowboy hats and boots that barely fit. Then I heard the band strike up that old familiar theme song. I wished us country boys had stayed at home. We were so nervous and excited the day we were invited to the Ralph Emery show. Old Ralph came in a puffin' on a fancy drugstore cigar. Norm Ray was red from blowing on the sax. And there was Spider picking guitar, so it made my fingers jealous. There was Jerry Whitehurst in his famous cap. There was bus reports and weather, champion gourds and news and fan mail. I thought that we were never going on. We were so nervous and excited the day we were invited to the Ralph Emery show. Then a man came up to us and he asked, "You fellas ready?" He didn't know we'd been there half the night. He stuck our faces in a microphone and he aimed us toward a camera. My face was numb, my heart was filled with fright. Then old Ralph, he introduced us to 500,000 people. We forgot the words and couldn't hit a note. We were so nervous and excited the day we were invited to the Ralph Emery Show. We struggled through our song, and when the show was over, no y'all come back, no kiss my foot, no nothing. Our dreams of being big stars had faded right before us, but through it all, us two and him learned something. How you can change your name, disguise your face, and wear another outfit. Old Ralph won't even know that you've been on. Yes, we're so nervous and excited, 'cause we got re-invited to the Ralph Emery Show. We had to change our name to get asked back.
John, you've outdone yourself.
Well, I won't tell you,
that close to what your mother would call showing out.
We played on that show from 1980 all the way up to about 91, whenever the show went off. And my typical morning going to the show, we'd go probably 6 times a year. I don't really know, every other month or whatever. Ralph asked us one time to be regulars, but we said, Ralph, we have jobs and we have families. We had regretfully
what time
declined.
did they come on the air?
5:30.
5:30 to how long?
And
that was original.
5:30 to 7.
Really, that's where most people at that time were getting their snow reports for where the school was in.
They had all that.
They did it all.
Yeah. And it was a show that 70% of the viewing audience that watched TV during the morning that time watched the Ralph Emery Show. Everybody's 70% of the TVs were tuned to that show.
And that was WSM, Channel 4.
WSMB.
B.
And I would get up at 2:30, take a shower, get ready, dress, get ready and get in my car at 3, meet Jimmy and Phil in Chapel Hill in front of our parents' house in Chapel Hill. That was a meeting place at 4. And then from 4 to 5, we would be on the road up to Nob Hill and get there a little before time to do the show. And you know, after you get up that early, your body just wants to, at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, your body just wants to shut down. You know, something tells it it's supposed to be sleeping.
But you were devoted to Coach Osteen from Chapel Hill, who was your principal, and refused to shut down.
And you know, the people of Tullahoma were always good to us. They've made allowances sometime when it was, and yeah, Mr. Osteen was always good to us. And I want you to read that, Pat, if you would.
Well, see, Peter, if you read it, John, it would be your mother would call it showing out.
Yeah, we don't want to show out.
We don't want
my Peter Jenkins wrote this book, and show the cover of that. It
Tennessee
was
Sampler.
Tennessee Sampler. He was a man who walked all across the country, and once he was writing about his
he was
trips
worked for ABC, I believe, nationally, didn't he?
Well, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I can't remember all the details about him, but he wound up living near Spring Hill. He thought Tennessee was the nicest spot he found. And so he wrote this book in response to his love for Tennessee called the Tennessee Sampler. And it's got all about Tennessee, about the walking horse show coming up, you know, this coming week. And he
got all kinds of incredible amount of little tidbits about Tennessee.
But if you're,
I bet was the Chapel Hill Ghost light in here?
I don't know if it was or not, Pat. It certainly belongs in there. But on page 26.
26. And we're not reading about the Station Inn, which is a great bluegrass.
He writes about the Ralph Emery Show.
Okay.
Go ahead.
One morning, most of the band was late, and the only music Ralph had for about 45 minutes was us two and him, a group from Chapel Hill specializing in songs about outhouses. The show does highlight some great new country talent, and how they can sing so well at 5:30 a.m. is one of Music City's mysteries. John Hatt is
Pat,
great.
did he write about Barbara Mandrell?
I'm sure she's in here.
Or did he? That's not my question, Pat. I'm asking about the show. Did he write about Lori Morgan or the Judds? Did he write about them?
I see where you're coming, John. And again, that's that close to showing out. Under the title Ralph Emery Show and the hundreds of acts that would have come in there, you are the only guest band noticed.
Could it be that it was a bit of uniqueness that he was pointing out, or cynical? Was it a cynical way of putting us in there?
I don't think it was cynical as so much as a show. Maybe it could have been, who else is going to write about the steamroller rolling over my two-holer?
Well, we had a good time on that show. And Maud and Dorothy, the two little ladies that used to come in the morning, they would highlight things in the newspaper for Ralph.
You've done enough research on this. What do the viewers, what do they remember most about it? To me, Norm Ray, I think, was a saxophone player, and he had a goatee. His look was the epitome of what I think, in the back of my mind, when I close my eyes, a saxophone player.
He was very nice to us. We played on Nashville Now one time, and he made sure that our wives were comfortable when we went there, and such as that. He was very nice. He played on that show. Another thing, we played on the Grand Ole Opry, and that date was August 22nd, 1980. I mean, it's etched here because that was
your first invite.
That was to the Ralph Emery. That was to the Grand Ole Opry. That we played the Grand Ole Opry, and we thought we were going back, so we didn't even take a camera with us. We have no physical evidence other than maybe some tape recording somewhere that maybe we were on there, but we felt like we would probably show up again. It wasn't any big thing. But it was a big thing.
It was a big thing.
And we're being told it's time to quit.
Let me ask a question.
All right.
Do you think the show being early in the morning may have been the glue that made it go? Because for a viewer like me, it looked like they liked each other. Really, it wasn't contrived.
It was a live band. Ralph had complete control. He went to the Nashville Now, and they had cue cards, but there they didn't. And if Ralph said, "You boys just stay up there," he talked to us. "You boys just stay up there. We'll have another number out of y'all in just a minute." It was just whatever he decided to do next.
Wow. They gelled so well together and mixed so well together.
They did, but Ralph was the ingredient. There were other people who tried the show maybe afterwards, but they never were successful like Ralph Emery.
John, did you get the notice that we're at the end of our time?
I did notice that.
Well, then that finishes segment 27, and it was a fine segment, but it is not the end of the stories. We hope we're coming back with more. Thank you.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
What does caring look like? This is what caring looks like.
This is setting an example for others.
This is rising to the challenge.
This is doing what works.
This is doing my part.
This is doing your part.
Each of us individually.
Acting as one. Keeping your distance, no matter how awkward it may seem.
This is wearing a mask.
Over your nose and mouth. Like we are.
Keeping our distance.
Each wearing masks.
Not under your chin.
Not above your head.
Not in your hand. But over your nose and mouth.
This is listening to the expert. If you'll just
wear one of these.
Caring makes community.
And this is what caring looks like.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
I feel like we're safe at Parkview.
There's somebody on staff all the time. So if you need help, help is there.
We are surrounded with people that are looking after us and taking care of us.
The staff is wonderful and always available. We feel so safe and secure here.
I feel safe at Parkview all the time.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and I've got my buddy Jackie Duncan with me today. Always fun when Jackie comes on, and he's a county commissioner, at one point, alderman at Tullahoma, and a history nut. He gets on the trail of a little something involving history, and buddy, off he goes, and he comes back with a report. And Jackie, what are we talking about today?
We touched on something last time I was here with you, and the Elk River District Association, and that is an association of churches. I told you that my church was a part of, and we are 13 churches strong. Winchester, Fayetteville, McMinnville, Shelbyville, and Cowan, and we are the churches there that are a part of this. Have been a part of this association since 1870.
Wow, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
That's 150 years.
That's a long time. And,
yes, it is.
and I told you before when I inquired about, I was getting some information together for the celebration. We have an annual celebration, annual conference. And an annual conference actually is coming up now pretty soon in the next few weeks. And so anyway, I mentioned to Gary Hill, who was moderator, Reverend Gary Hill, who was moderator of the association at that time. I mentioned to him about are we sure, this is a 151st or whatever year of celebration, and where does the actual recording start and all this? And so he thought that was a good question. He said, well, I'm going to appoint you the historian for the Elk River District Association. So there it was. And so I opened my mouth. He
threw it right back at you,
I opened my mouth, and there it is. I got a new job. So anyway, I wound up being the historian. And at that time, I thought, well, we need to do something to as a commemoration, and just history itself. It's happened every day, and whether it gets recorded or not is another thing. And we live through it, and maybe somebody usually writes it down. And thank God for historians and for people who do that and who have done it all forever, but at that time. We had some records, and I found when some gentleman over in one of the deacons over in Cowan found out that I was the new historian, he decided, he said, well, I'm going to get you some information. So he found me the information they had. And actually the information started, when the program started back in 1870, it was organized in Shelbyville, Tennessee in 1870 with 7 churches. And 1910, looks like it had 35 churches. And actually we don't have that many churches now, but I guess the attrition got us or whatever.
Turn around and let the camera take a look at that.
Okay. And anyway, these are some of the older first ones that actually started this up. Now I got this chart from the deacon over in I can't think of his name at the moment, but he told me that he didn't know a lot about some of it, but he told me everything that he knew, and he had some paperwork and everything. So I took that along with the information currently at hand and put together a little memory book for that particular time in life, I guess. So anyway, that particular year, and this was 2012 when I did the book. And excuse me, I'm a little stopped up, but it's just a little memory book and something to record. If we don't write down what we understand at the moment, sometimes it slips away. Memories don't hold too well, and so
they change.
You tell me about it, yeah. And so anyway, over the years, and I just got some of these old people, gentlemen in there, like here's Reverend Harris and Reverend Tate, and Reverend Tate used to live next door to me when I was growing up, and actually for very, very short time because he died when I was very young. But I see his picture, and I know him. I knew him, just from looking at that picture. And Reverend Harris lived next door to him, over on Polk Street. And so, and Reverend Harris, I used to run errands for him and help him out. He got disabled. He had a stroke, and as a child, I would go down, and my dad would have to go down. Sometimes my dad worked at Coca-Cola. Paul Duncan worked at Coca-Cola for 40 years. Yeah, and so anyway, the dad would come home every day for lunch, and sometimes I remember when Reverend Harris would fall down. He'd had a stroke, and he was partially disabled. He was able to walk around some, but he lived 2 doors down, and when Dad would come in for lunch, and my grandmother had a hot meal every day for lunch. And she was on top. My mother and father, and we lived there with my grandmother and grandfather. That's a long story.
Oh yeah.
Part of that Great Migration. That's what set up all this, because Dad's brothers, 2 brothers and a sister, left during that Great Migration and went to California. And so right after World War II, but Dad stayed here because he knew that grandmother, his mother and father, my grandmother and grandfather, was going to need him, and they were starting to get to that point in life where they did. So, Grandma, but she was always a stickler for hot lunch every day, hot breakfast, and all that. So I am so glad that I grew up with my grandparents. Oh God, it was a blessing. And so, but it was just,
let me ask you a question. Did your dad have a vehicle at that time?
When he was working at Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
Yes, oh yeah.
Okay, because I'm just thinking of where Coca-Cola is and where y'all lived, and you probably didn't get 30 minutes for lunch.
That's right, that's right.
So that was a pretty quick trip to walk. You couldn't walk down there and do it, so you had to drive.
I agree, I agree. Yeah, he had a car.
Of course, we need to remember, folks, at that time, there was probably not but 1 or 2 public restaurants in town. You had a waffle shop right downtown here, and a couple of things here, and that was it. There wasn't much.
Well,
not like there is now. There's 100 restaurants in Tullahoma right now.
Actually, it wasn't a restaurant for us. Well,
that's true.
We never frequented.
That's true.
We couldn't go in, and so we never knew about a restaurant food until late in life.
Right.
My grandmother she was a cook, and she was great. And I'm
Well,
a
that's
home.
better than you could get in any
Oh,
restaurant
God.
anyway.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh, Lord. So anyway.
Till Miss
just
Vi
glad.
opened up.
Yeah, and so I like Miss Vi so much I bought the place.
And live
I tell
in it.
people that. Yeah, and live in it. Yeah, but no, truthfully, yeah, Miss Vi. My mother worked for Miss Vi on occasions. I think the whole family,
Sure.
helped out with.
But people
things.
need to think about that, back, and I knew your dad because I worked at the Coca-Cola company when I was a kid as a bottle boy.
Right.
And he, excuse me, he was very well respected.
Oh yeah.
And was one of the people that without him, there's a whole lot of stuff that took place over there wouldn't have happened.
I agree.
Because he was respected, and
I agree.
he did a lot. He had a lot of knowledge about that industry.
Well, he knew all the jobs that were there.
Right.
He knew how to do everything that was there, and actually, I remember the first time they sent him to school, and it confused me. They didn't have a plant manager per se, and so my dad was I guess the closest thing to a plant manager. Of course,
yes.
he couldn't be a plant manager because of the times that he lived in, but he couldn't be a plant manager. But he could. They sent him to I remember to Atlanta to school. To learn.
Nearest Screen couldn't own a distillery.
You're
either.
right. That's true. That's true. So,
back in those days.
There you go. I agree. So anyway,
but we don't think about the fact that, and there weren't in Tullahoma at that time. There was probably wasn't but 3 or 4 at the most places where you could go out and get something to eat cooked by somebody else.
Yeah.
But you don't think about the fact that you couldn't go.
No, I couldn't. So anyway, I look at it today as I was able to save my money. I'd been,
ate better food at your grandmother's
oh
house.
God, if I'd have missed that, that was a real life changer for me.
Sure it was.
And I think it would be for any kid that lived in a home with loving grandparents, especially. And my granddaddy they told me that my grandfather would work in the garden with me in his arms because I loved him so much. I was just, hey, there it was. And I was always with him when he'd come to town. As a young boy, I was, very small, but I would walk to town with him. We'd walk the railroad tracks from over on Polk Street all the way around to downtown, wherever we were going downtown. And so anyway, but we'd walk the railroad tracks, and there it was. So, but I was always with Granddaddy whenever I could. Of course you were. Yes, sir.
We who remember our grandparents did a lot of that. My grandfather Gray down in Louisiana was a farmer, and when we'd go down there and visit, I'd go with him.
Oh man!
Everywhere he went, I was like a tick.
Nothing like that. I tell you, and it's made a better person of me. I know a better man, having strong figures like that to grow up with, and to have good examples around you every day. And my grandmother taught me a lot of stuff. I'd help her cook, and hey, I have a love for cooking right now.
Yeah.
So I do cooking and baking, and I got some little muffins that are out of sight. I'll bring you some sometime.
You do that. But I'll swap something with you. I'm not a bread. I never have been much of a bread maker.
Well,
they come out of a can.
Well, I love these little muffins. My pastor at church, Pastor Crutchfield, when he was our pastor, he loved those muffins. He still loves those muffins. And every time I see him now, maybe at a funeral or something else, or just anytime I see him, he says, "I'm ready for some muffins," Now listen, I used to have little kids that would come up and pull on me, and "Where am I?" I said, "I'm ready for some muffins. Where are my muffins?" And all this. So anyway, but it's a blessing. And these were raisin oatmeal banana muffins, and they're good for you. They're so good for you, you can feel the cholesterol leaving your body. There you go. They're so good you almost beat your brains out smacking your lips.
How are we doing on time there? We're good. All right. What else? We got a little bit of time left. What are we going to do now?
Well, anyway, this old gentleman that I was telling you about that lived two houses down, Reverend Harris, Dad would come in sometimes at lunch, and Reverend Harris would have fallen and couldn't get up. And so Dad would have to run down, coming in for lunch, 30 minutes for lunch from Coca-Cola, and run in and go down and get Reverend Harris up. But it was a blessing just to have somebody there to help in the neighborhood. And so he was the one, and my dad was a good man. And so I just appreciate him so much. And my grandfather, especially, these were great father figures in my life. And my mother, and she was a strong woman, and my grandmother, very strong. So been blessed, and ain't no doubt about it. So I got a picture of Reverend Harris in here, and some of the other preachers that I remembered that were a part of this association. Okay. And so it made me help me to put this together, this little unity book, and it was just a souvenir booklet for folks. And one other thing I'd like to touch on.
We got to be quick. Okay. She's telling me to be quick.
Okay, Tommy Gwynn is we're still celebrating his birthday.
Okay.
103rd birthday, and I've got a proclamation here from the city of Manchester, and I got a proclamation here from the county mayor and the city mayor of Manchester. Right. I already presented one to him from Mayor Noes. Right. And Ray Noes read that on Channel 5. They came out and did an interview for him and all this. But anyway, it's just a blessing. So we're still celebrating Tommy Gwynn's birthday, and if anybody's got birthday cards or whatever, want to send him, send him to First Baptist Church. That's where it's his church.
There you go.
And they'll get them to him. So, but it's just a blessing to be a part of his life.
It's a blessing to have you here.
It's a blessing to be a part of your life, buddy. I tell you what.
We appreciate you.
You're in my life.
And we'll be back. Jackie will be back more because I've got a hook in him. I ain't gonna let him go. We'll be back after these messages.
Oh, I appreciate you.
I got a tour, and I saw all the things, and I was so excited about them. And she took me to the movie theater, and it had red chairs. This is a done deal, and I like it.
We have so many activities here that you just can't keep up with them all. We have exercise, we have coloring, we have crafts.
It's charming, it's attractive, it's very comfortable. It was one of the best decisions of my life.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Disney had such a great stable of writers. You go back and listen to those old tunes; they are fantastic.
I know they are.
Going through the diminished chord to get to back to your tonic, your major chord. They do that so many times. A nice little augmented chord in there.
Yeah. Just unusual.
Beautiful chord
They're beautiful
progressions.
chord
They really knew
progressions.
what they were doing. So.
Y'all, this is Ron Hackett. He's from Fayetteville, Tennessee, and he plays guitar for the South Jackson Street Band.
Well, thank you very much for having me this morning.
And other things. I'm so glad you came. I didn't know either one of us would be alive after Saturday night.
Yeah, that was kind of a late night.
It was a wonderful event, though, didn't you think?
It was a beautiful event. A lot of dancers there. Band got an encore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I may have a couple of videos that I'll be posting to YouTube from that event. Did have a little bit of trouble with the camera and a position, but there were a couple of good videos came out of it.
Good. I'm glad.
We'll get those posted.
Well,
Just need to check our website, sjsband.com.
sjsband.com. We have everything there.
The link to our YouTube channel there, and you can catch the videos.
I brought Ron on today so we could talk a little bit about the ice cream social coming up at South Jackson Civic Center a week from Thursday night, the 28th of...
29th, isn't it?
No, it's Thursday. It's the
Thursday,
28th.
28th, okay.
28th of July. So bring your lawn chairs and bring your snacks if you want. I think they'll be selling food, but we have ice cream, which is free. It's only $10, and bring your family. There's fun for all. It'll be on the...
lots of space for dancing.
Right.
Get out and enjoy the
it's on the front
the songs.
Plaza there, the concrete front of the building, and we hope it doesn't rain, but if it does, we'll go inside and we'll play on, like we always do.
Yeah, it's always been a great event every year. We've enjoyed it. I think the public has enjoyed it. I know we get lots of people show up, so
Well,
come on
I
out and
don't.
enjoy that.
Sometimes I wonder if many people, everybody in this town, even knows that we're the South Jackson Street Band, and they probably think we belong to South Jackson Civic Center. But we really don't. We're just that's what our name is.
It's a geolocation
And so
kind of thing. We're both along the
we
South Jackson Street out
share
here. So.
the love of the arts and all different types and genres of music, which I think is very important. And anyway, we start at 6:30 with a dance class by Miss Valerie Lawrence. I believe she's teaching swing this year. And that, in fact, was what they were doing at Centennial Park.
Yes,
they
that's right.
taught swing. Anyway, Valerie does a great job, and she has a class on Thursday nights at 6:30 at South Jackson in the annex if you want to go in and have a class. So lots going on. It's important to, I don't even care if you do any of those dances, just get up and have a little exercise.
Yeah, that's
just
it.
Participate.
Just get out and get the exercise.
Yeah.
Nobody's out there grading anybody. Nobody's out there taking notes. Oh, he's a bad dancer. No,
Yeah. Nobody's taking notes.
Get out there and have fun. That's why we're all there.
Yeah.
We're out there having fun.
That was the beauty.
We love to play music. We love to play for an audience.
Exactly.
So we love having people that are out there enjoying the music. We love people that are dancing to our music. That makes us very happy. So
I know.
that's just
any of you that do music know that you have to do it.
Yes,
you just have to do it.
It's something that's part of you. You
It
have
is.
to do it.
You have to do it. So.
You're going to do it anyway. If you're, it's not nearly as much fun. I've got a little studio at the house, and I can sit around the studio and play. And it's not nearly as much fun as when
By
I get out
yourself.
and I play with people.
I know it really makes a difference.
But you still have to do it. You
I
just
wanna
have
give
this urge to, you got to get in there and.
I just want to give an accolade to Alan Johnson, who is our director and works so hard to keep everything going. And I just think the band is fabulous now, and I'm real proud of them. We've been going a long
band's
time.
doing a great job. Alan's doing a great job picking up.
He is, and we have
getting
a lot of, well, our local people, I should be able to name them all, but I don't know if I can. Scott Young and Charlie Hickerson, and they're right here in our town. But we have people from all around Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, we've got
I'd love to hear you
Judith
play another
Roney
song.
from up in Nashville. I'm down in Fayetteville at the southern end. We've got people out, towards Winchester.
Exactly. We have people from all over Middle Tennessee that come together just because they love the music. I'd love to hear you play another song. You up to it?
Oh, sure. Why not?
Do you have what are you going to play?
We'll do this one a little more upbeat. We'll do, you remember Paper Moon?
Yes, I do. I even sang it at one time in my life.
Well, I'm not sure we're in the same key, but you're welcome to try if you want to. But this is
I probably better just
my
hold up.
version of Paper Moon.
Okay. A long time since we've done that. That's an old one, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot of my stuff is old. I play a lot of old guy stuff, but I like those old tunes. They,
I do too.
Again, like Disney, Tin Pan Alley had all of those great writers that would really
yeah.
give you the wonderful voicings on the tunes coming in with the diminished chords.
Right, I love those.
Coming into us, nice voicings on the different chords to really kind of bring the tune out. It's just so much fun to play those older.
You love to play, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Did you take your guitar with you when you went to Spain?
Of course I did. Now, what I had in Spain was a smaller version of the guitar. I have what they call a parlor guitar. It's about a 3/4 scale guitar, so it's a smaller length. The frets are a little closer together.
Did you get to play it?
Well, I played pretty much every day that I was there, but there were several instances. We actually did 2 tours. They were back to back. And during the first tour, we were supposed to have dinner one night, and there was supposed to be musical entertainment.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we showed up during the middle of a festival, and they couldn't book the musicians, so I took their place.
Oh, fabulous! So you got to play.
The second.
Have Guitar Will Travel.
Yeah, the second one. The last night we were there, I did a show in the hotel lobby for about 45
What
minutes.
fun!
So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I love it. Take your guitar with you. We'll be back with the South Jackson Street Band.
Clayton's has been Tullahoma's shoe store for over 120 years, and Florence Hall continues that tradition today. We're the only shoe store in town that starts with measuring your foot to make sure you get the perfect fit in a quality shoe. That includes narrow through wide widths for men, women, and children. Clayton Shoes, the family shoe store you'll love.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, we're back, and you just never know what's going to be on around here. People show up. Bless Jackie Duncan. He just comes in here, and
he has some great.
He's so
informative.
The insight into his background and his family and a lot of this. So I've been trying to get somebody to come on and do that with me for years, and Jackie's brings a present. He's very respectful, and it's amazing all the things that we don't think about.
I agree.
Involving that the history of the black people in the South, and how differently they lived than we did.
I don't know that I lived any differently.
Well, you could go to a restaurant.
Well, true.
You could go to the bathroom.
True. Yeah, that's true.
You could get a drink of water. And we don't think about that stuff going on.
I resented
in our own history, but it was. So it's just interesting to me. But
it's very interesting.
Well, I'm glad Jackie has chosen to come and spend time.
It's like all history. It all needs to be out in the world.
Out in the world.
People need to know what we've been through.
We need to read it and learn from it. It is that's what they call it, education.
And never let it happen again.
History shows you what you can do and what you should never do again.
Exactly.
So let's
turn out to be a good day.
Some history right here in this town is 43 years of South Jackson Goes Country, and it's been a wonderful history. You be part of it. You buy your tickets, 3 different shows. Go to every one of them and enjoy the talent of the young people and old people and middle-aged people in this town. And the South Jackson Street Band has got Ice Cream Social, and we're going to close with that right now. I love you.
I love you too.
the sea, somewhere where you'll be. My lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing. There waiting for me. If I could fly like birds on high, then never again I'd go sailing. It's far beyond the star, it's near beyond the moon. I know beyond a doubt, my heart will lead me there soon. We'll be beyond the shore, we'll kiss just as before, and we will be beyond the sea, and never again I'll go sailing. It's far beyond a star, it's near beyond the moon. I know beyond a doubt, my heart will lead me there soon. We'll be beyond the shore, we'll kiss just as before. Beyond the sea, and never again I'll go sailing. No more sailing, I found my love beyond the sea. Thank you so much. With your permission.
This has been a Ron Hackett Music video production.